Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and this is the Storyteller Forecast for Scorpio for April 2015. Go to my website, aspiritualspark.com, or click on the link below this video to see more about my personal life coaching, as well as my 28-day virtual coaching program called Shine, both of which are available on a sliding scale, and both of which are intended to help you navigate the complex waters of the astrological picture that is forever changing within you and outside of you. And while you're there, sign up for my free email newsletter where you become one of my VIPs. So what's going on in April? Woo! We have an active month. Just coming off of another active month, March, solar eclipse, all kinds of stuff going on, still feeling the energy from the solar eclipse. We start out the month with the lunar eclipse, and I'm going to go in order to talk about key transits, but before that I want to talk about the general themes, where the personal planets are moving and where there's strong focus of energy at this time. So for you early degree Scorpios, so that's early birthday Scorpios, we'll say, October 22nd, 3rd, 4th, very early. And then we'll say all October born. This is going to be either right from the beginning or coming very soon. You have Mars and Venus both in your 7th house. And the 7th house is the house of relationships. So our little generator Mars, which for the rest of you Scorpios is still in the 6th house, as well as all kinds of other planets that all Scorpios have a very strong 6th house focus for this month. But in any case, Mars has moved on for early Scorpios into the 7th house. And this is our little generator. Every 2 years, Mars is in this place. Mars has a 2-year cycle. So wherever it is, it hasn't been there for 2 years. It's not going to be there for 2 years, for 2 more years. And you have a boost of energy, where I always like to describe Mars as whatever you find yourself really hot on at that time. Mars is probably in that area because it's just like it has lots of energy, lots of focus going on. And for you at this time, and for the rest of you Scorpios, this is coming, relationships and partnerships are big focus. So Mars will be moving through your 7th house, which is your first house of relationships. Then later, after 6-ish weeks, it will move on to your 8th house. So, for several months, you've got this strong focus of relationships, showing up for them, getting things done in them, working together. Mars works best in the 7th house when you're working in cooperation with another person. Sometimes this can cause aggravation and arguments as well, because Mars is the god of war, has aggression involved, but it's the same energy that rules forward movement. So if you find you're bickering a lot with people that you're working with or partnered with, then have a meeting and see how you can be most productive with the tremendous amount of energy that's flowing for you at this time. Because it could erupt, if it's not being used properly, it could erupt into petty things. We don't want to do it that way. Similar to how I always like to describe Mars as like a border collie, because I have border collies and they're around me and I think about it all the time, that they're not aggressive dogs, but they bark. When they get excited, they're they're barking. So that's what it's like. So you have all this energy, everyone's excited, and then it could turn into argument or some drama. It doesn't need to do that. This is the best time in 2 years, for 2 years, for you to work in cooperation with someone on something. So if you have a project that you need to partner with someone, or if you're trying to get more clients, or if you're trying to service your clients better, or if you're trying to improve your romantic relationship or any other relationships, this time is your best friend. So again, that's for early Scorpio placements, and for the rest of you, this is coming in coming months. Now, for the rest of Scorpio, Mars is still in the 6th house. So this motor, this forward movement is in your house of your daily routine. But early Scorpios still pay attention, because even though you don't have Mars there anymore, oh, and by the way, you early Scorpios also have Venus in your 7th house and then moving into your 8th house, which can also bring harmony. So you have this one thing that can cause arguing and this other thing that can cause harmony. So it can be really awesome if you use it the right way. Okay, so the Sun and Mercury for you middle degree and you later degree Scorpios, if not right at first, this is coming soon. All of this energy is concentrated in your 6th house. So every Scorpio has a tremendous amount of focus on your daily routine, on your work, on the structure of your daily life. If you are self-employed, you might find you have more work at this time. If you might be asking the question how you can have more work at this time, you might be looking to see how your schedule is or isn't efficient. Many Scorpios, especially if you have more than one placement in Scorpio, your life might be set up in a way that you have to account for your emotional flow. Your emotional flow is more important sometimes than the other things that might need your attention, depending. I've seen this happen. So if you have been using the energy of the previous months really well, the eclipse could be bringing a break to some of the mental things that sometimes cause you to be inefficient with your energy. So the lunar eclipse could be, for many of you, eclipsing out a belief system or a mental issue that was a problem, and now you can get really focused. So an example of this is if you are a person who has been diagnosed with ADHD or think that you must have that, seeking the assistance of a nutritionist, possibly someone else, depending on your circumstance. But I have seen so many people be able to have supplements that where they were all over the place before, kind of emotionally, and they couldn't get focused. And I'm talking to you specifically, Scorpio, about this because of the way that the transits are lining up in your particular chart. Can be true for anyone that's working with that, but there's a special concentration of this story getting to be resolved at this time for you. Your life doesn't have to be that way, okay? Maybe you've been kind of distracted for as long as you can remember. But if you have the right supplements, very often involving amino acid supplementation, then it can help you to get on track. So with that happening, you might find you can make an efficient routine where certain times, certain days of the week, you can write it out. This exercise here, this meditation, this whatever things that have to be done, getting super organized, super efficient with your space, with your time. This is also the house of your health. So you could be getting more focused on your health, your mental health, and your physical health. This is the house of diet, yoga, meditation, also the house of pets. So pets could have a stronger focus on this time, additional pets, current pets, anything involving animals. All right, so let's talk about all of these transits that are going on there. We've got a lot going on. So April 4th, boom, started the month with this huge lineup of transits. We have the lunar eclipse in Libra. We've been talking about the lunar eclipse. If you've been listening to my reports, you know that the eclipses don't just happen they happen on the day they happen, but their energy is felt beforehand, 6 weeks beforehand, 6 weeks afterwards, takes 6 months or so for the story to be told. And sometimes there's a bigger cycle at play as well, a couple of year cycles. There's all these different layers of this eclipse energy. So the lunar eclipse, it happens on a full moon. So the full moon is on April 4th. The lunar eclipse is on April 4th. We already know that emotional energy, drama, completions happen on full moons. We watch this cycle every month. When you have a lunar eclipse on the full moon, counts for 3 times the regular full moon energy, 3 times the drama, 3 times the completion, 3 times the ending, 3 times the emotions. That's why they're so powerful. Everything's in triplicate. So that's happening on the 4th. Super powerful. As if that weren't enough, we have Uranus, the planet, the mischievous planet of jostling and electric currents and just live sizzling energy. We have that opposing it, making a challenging 180-degree angle to the eclipse. At the same time, as if all that's not enough, your ruling planet, Pluto, is making a 90-degree angle to that opposition of those two, the eclipse and Uranus. 90-degree angle to both of those. Challenging angle, 90 degrees. So this is a really, really big time. You know that maybe you don't know, I'm a Sagittarius, and I have a lot of placements in Sag. And my way of being is very optimistic, very positive, always looking for the good and what can be great about things. So when I see transits like this, first I'm like, whew, wow, that's going to be intense, right? That's just the truth of the matter. But then the questions I ask are, how can we make this the best it can possibly be, that we can possibly have any say in? And of course, inner work is my favorite way of being a spiritual ninja, interfacing with life, right? So I always advocate that. And so I want to talk about what is going on at this juncture with these planets. There's a huge theme of accountability. Okay, so people who are not being accountable for certain aspects of their lives, they're going to get called out. You might be the person calling out someone else, or you might be the person being called out, or you could be in the situation of having both at the same time. So if you have been enabling someone You have been doing work for someone that they're supposed to be doing, letting people get away with things. Many a person is going to wake up at this time and say, oh my gosh, I have been letting this go on long enough. I am shifting this. Right now I'm making a different decision. I'm not engaging. And so you might be on the other end of someone making that decision and saying, hey, you're cut off from whatever I've been providing you. Or you could be the person telling someone else that they're cut off from the energy that they have been draining from you. Now, we're not making anyone wrong. And that's why I started out by saying the theme is accountability. We're not blaming the other person. We have to remember it takes two to tango. And relationship dynamics are a tango. They're a dance. And we are each equally as responsible for our part of the dance. So if you're a person that does everything for other people, then are you enabling people? Are you doing too much? Whose fault is that? Both of your faults. They're letting you do it. You're continuing to do it. If you're the person that's having stuff done for you, okay, it might be easier to blame that person to say, hey, you need to do something, right? But the other person is insisting that they do stuff often, or doing it and not making the other person be accountable, right? So there's no right or wrong. We don't want to get involved in right or wrong. We want to get involved in accountability. So that is the best way that you can manage this, is to take stock of everything in your life, right? Your list of things that other people are supposed to be accountable for and they're not, and what you're doing to facilitate them not being accountable. If you're braver, you'll make a list of what you're supposed to be accountable for and what you're not being accountable for, and better ways that you can do that. A lot of times with Scorpio energy, if you have everything else, your ducks are in a row, what you're not being responsible for sometimes is your emotional reactions to things. And that this is something that many people don't understand. I see this happen all the time. Let's say you're a person who's always had a job, you always have plenty of money, you're taking care of all of your things, and maybe your kids or your spouse or other people are coming to you because you are the one with the money. Okay, and so you say, I'm accountable, right? Well, maybe those same people might complain that they walk on eggshells around you because they don't know when you're going to have an emotional explosion, that maybe you're putting things on someone that is not theirs to bear, like putting something on a child to make them feel guilty about something. I see this happen so many different ways. And that's why I said you have to be brave to look at this, because most people don't want to look at this. But when you look at it, it makes these type of aspects much more graceful, because if you're getting the lesson, you're less likely to have it slammed in your face by a transit that brings up weak links. That's what these transits do. They bring up weak links. You strengthen your links, then it makes it much easier to deal with the things that come up, and they can come up differently. So if you are, very often there's an energy of emotional irresponsibility. Now, controlling your emotions is not necessarily emotional responsibility. Dealing with the more subtle issues of a dynamic is at play here, So I'm holding a vision for the world where people are focusing on their mental health just as much as their physical health. If they're not focusing on their physical health, I'm holding the vision that they are too, right? Because these are our sacred vessels, and it's good for us to take care of them. And we create a world where everything is cared for when we take care of ourselves. So in any case, mental health is critical. And for many Scorpios at this time, addressing that mental health and why there are these patterns and how they're affecting people and how they're keeping you from happiness that you really want, or more intimacy that you really want, or things that you really want. Let's say you have all these things are going for you, and this one thing isn't. It's probably because there's some dysfunction that's going on in your wiring. You got to get that worked out in order to get this. There is a direct relationship between that. I have seen thousands of charts over a very long time, and 100% of the time, the things that people write that they're wanting help with, that they're hoping to create, they're all linked to the same dysfunction in the natal chart that has not been resolved. So there is a relationship between the things that you want that you're not getting and the things that you haven't dealt with. Okay, so April 8th, we have Jupiter going direct. And for you early degree Scorpios, Jupiter has been, from last summer through the beginning of December of 2014, you've had it accentuating your house of work and career and life purpose. So all Scorpios will have been having the little butterfly kisses of this transit. For you early degree Scorpios, you've been having like full on Italian grandmother on the face kisses from it. Okay. So I like it. Okay. So for the rest of you Scorpios, you have had the whispers of Jupiter expanding your career, work, and life purpose. Okay. That's the 10th house. So early degree Scorpios have had a full on experience with Jupiter expanding your career, work, and life purpose. And then middle to late, you're having the whispers of it. So like, for instance, let's say it's springtime, which it is, and let's say someone has a lilac bush, and from down the block, you can smell the lilac bush. Okay? That is where middle to late degree Scorpios, middle to late birthday Scorpios are at. The lilac bush is Jupiter. We're making it something awesome because Jupiter is awesome and lilacs are awesome, right? So you are smelling the lilacs from down the street and it's like, ooh, it's coming. It's kind of here. I can feel it. But the early degree Scorpios, you've had your like face right standing in front of this lilac bush, okay? And it's so intense. It's there. Now, as of the beginning of December, all of that in your faceness went retrograde. Okay, because Jupiter went retrograde, so it kind of went sleepy and more backwards, kind of regrouping. And now April 8th, it's moving forward. So for you early degree Scorpios, it's going to kind of get back right into action. Things that were slowdowns, everything will start to fall in place. And for the rest of you, for middle degree Scorpios, the summer is going to be really strong with starting to breathe this energy of expansion into your work and career. For you later degree Scorpios, it's going to be the end of the year that you really start to have your year of your career being completely expanded. So that's exciting. Okay, so April 16th, Pluto, your ruler, is going backwards. Now, usually when someone's ruler goes backwards, it kind of, they're a little bit more off their game. They're a little just kind of, you know, it's a little bit less graceful sometimes. But Pluto revels in backwards and in. So Pluto is very much exalted in a retrograde space. So from April 16th through September 25th, you have Pluto going backwards, your ruling planet going backwards, really helping you to take stock of everything in your life, manage things, organize things. This is the best time for internal cleaning, mental cleaning, physical cleaning, juices, fasts, diet changes, whatever you've got to do to clean the inside stuff out. This is starting this major trend for that. April 18th, we have the new moon in Aries. So the astrological new year started when the sun got into Aries at the end of March. Now, that's when it happened. But the kickoff, the New Year's party, really happens when the new moon in Aries happens, which is April 18th. So this is the best time of the year besides your birthday and until your birthday to make a vision board. Okay, so all the things that you want in your life, clipping out magazine pictures, words, phrases, affirmations that you want to create in your life, doing this vision board on this day is your most powerful day since your birthday and until your birthday. So I hope you take full advantage of that. You also get 10 new moon wishes, and the more you align the wishes with Aries things, the more you can benefit from the energy. And Aries rules the head, the brain, anything neurological, anything mental. It also rules initiating things and leading things and childlike wonder. It also rules breakthroughs and pioneering, just blazing forward movement. So anything along those lines that you're trying to have more in your life, wishing for those things on this new moon carries more energy. So around April 21st and 22nd, we have Mercury in Taurus, conjunct, meaning right on top of Mars in Taurus. Both of these are trining, making 120-degree favorable angle to Pluto, your ruling planet, right? So there's all these things going on with Pluto this month, which is very intense for everybody, but they always carry more weight when it's something involving your ruler. So this is a really great time for strategizing, getting things of a tangible nature really organized. Budgeting, seeking financial assistance, talking with a financial planner, talking with your business counterparts. This period of time, 21st, 22nd, is super strong for getting things organized, strategy. Also on April 22nd, Venus makes a beautiful angle, a sextile to Jupiter. And Jupiter rules bigness, right? And optimism and joy and luck. And Venus rules love and beauty and money. So that's a sweet little time. And then also at the end of the month, February 26th, we have Venus making the same angle to Uranus, a sextile to Uranus. And Uranus brings surprises. Now in the beginning of the month, we have Uranus bringing surprises that maybe we're like, don't want those surprises. But at the end of the month, Venus has a less powerful bringing of some fun things. I say less powerful because there's less going on. It's just like Venus is slow moving, and Venus is fast moving, so this is not like this huge big theme like the thing in the beginning of the month I was talking about. This is just like several days of just sweet, surprise, refreshing things involving love, beauty, and money. So that's our April. If you would like some assistance navigating your astrological waters, I would love to help you. You can go to my website, aspiritualspark.com, where you can connect with me to see more about my personal readings, which are available on a sliding scale. Also, you can see more about and order my 28-day virtual coaching program called Shine, which I have put together to help you have some structure and have optimism and focus and powerful, energetic clearing on the emotional, physical, spiritual, mental levels. It takes 28 days to make a new habit, break old habits. This program is designed as a moon cycle intentionally to help you move forward in life, and springtime is a wonderful time for that. So go to my website and also sign up for my free email newsletter, and I hope you have a wonderful month, and I will see you next month. Bye.